Hi, my name is John and this is Charlie.
Hey!
And today we're going to talk through a single studio light setup. And we're going to show you 5 different lighting patterns. And we're going to show you and demonstrate and discuss the benefits of each one and what they can be used for. So without further ado, let's get into this and run the intro and we'll see you on the other side. Hi, my name is John Tisbury and with me today is Charlie.
Hello.
My YouTube channel concentrates on photography and cinematography, instructional, tutorial and how-to videos. And in this video we're going to look at single studio light photography. I spend a lot of time in the studio just working on one light, and I thought it'd be good to share with you the sort of 5 most common lighting patterns that are used when using a single light. So we're going to have a look at flat lighting, butterfly lighting, loop lighting, Rembrandt lighting and split lighting. So that's the 5 we're going to work our way through. And we're going to chat and show you and demonstrate each one as we work our way through. So the first one we're going to look at is flat lighting. And we've actually got flat lighting set up at the moment. So if Charlie's looking at the second camera that we've got here, and you'll see the lighting on her, it's a very, hence its name, flat lighting. There's very little shadow appearing on her face. You will see a bit of shadow under the chin. The light that we're using, incidentally, is a very contrasty hard light. It's like a bare bulb light, which probably helps you from a perspective of being able to see the transition from the shadows to the highlights. But bear in mind, these lighting patterns that I'm going to be chatting about also work equally well with a softer light. So if you used a softbox, they would work exactly the same. Or you could put in a reflector or a fill, anything like that, to soften the shadows if you find those shadows too harsh. So you've got a lot of flexibility there to be able to adapt these 5 lighting patterns. So the flat lighting is generally used in high-end glamour, fashion, editorial, those types of usage. It creates a very flattering light. It's great for reducing the signs of wrinkles and skin marks and skin lines, those sort of things. Obviously, Charlie doesn't have any of those.
I don't have any of those.
Absolutely. So that's...
Don't need to worry about that one.
No. But it's a very flattering light, I guess, is really what I'm saying. You do get a bit of a shadow, say, under the chin, and depending on the light source, whether it's a hard light or a soft light, that can be more acute or less. You can soften that by the use of a reflector under the chin. You know, that will help reduce that if you want to. So there you go. So that's flat lighting. We're just going to bring some shots up on screen so you can have a look at the flat lighting. So I'm now moving into the second one, which is butterfly lighting. So I'm moving the light up.
I can all of a sudden see again.
Yeah. And I'm just going to tilt it down, angle it down a bit. And this is butterfly lighting. It's also known as Paramount lighting, after the Hollywood studio, the Paramount studio. It was used extensively in the early days of Hollywood as the preferred lighting style for Paramount studios. Even to the fact that some of the well-known stars of the day, the female stars of the day, would only be photographed using this lighting pattern. So, I never remember the lady's name. Marlene Dietrich. There we go, I had it written down. Marlene Dietrich. Absolutely. She would insist on being photographed using this light and no other. And apparently, I don't know how true this is, I've read in places that some actresses, some movie stars, had it written into their contracts that they could only be photographed using this lighting pattern.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Flat lighting.
So, you know, that's how popular it was. It's called butterfly lighting or paramount lighting because of the shadow that appears under the nose. So you'll see I've raised the light up higher than it was when we did the flat lighting. I've rotated the light down or angled it down, and it's created a butterfly type shadow under Charlie's nose. It gives you a very even light. It's very symmetrical in terms of a lighting pattern. very flattering. If you've got high cheekbones, you'll see it gives you a nice shadow area underneath, so it really defines the facial feature. So it's a really nice feminine light pattern for doing sort of glamour, high-end fashion, that kind of thing. So there you go. That is butterfly lighting or paramount lighting. So just going to take a couple of photographs on that, and I'll put those up on screen. So that's 2 done. Let's move on to our third, which is loop lighting. Now these next 3 we're chatting about can all be used with the same sort of height of the light. And what I mean by that is once you've set the light in the correct position, you can rotate your model to be able to cover the next 3 lighting patterns. Well, economies of scale. So what I'm going to do is just going to move this light. This is the loop lighting. So that's your loop lighting. It's characterised by the shadow under the nose. You'll see that before on the butterfly it was right symmetrical underneath the nose. As you move the light off to the side off camera, either left or right, doesn't really matter, whichever you prefer or whichever your subject prefers, the shadow moves across under the nose and forms a little loop of shadow and adds a little bit more drama to the image. It adds more shadow area. So I guess it's probably one of the most common types of lighting pattern used for lighting portraits, both male and female. It can use for both. And it adds a little bit more drama because you're adding a little bit more shadow into the light. So you get a little bit more contrast and a little bit more definition in your image. So I'm just going to take a couple of shots of that. I don't have loads of studio assistants, so it's just me here and Charlie, so we have to do all the work. Well, in fact, I'm doing all the work, Charlie's just sitting here. So.
Looking lovely.
So the next one we're going to do is Rembrandt lighting. Rembrandt lighting is probably well known, is a lighting style or lighting setup. It was made famous by the Dutch artist Rembrandt. He was the master of capturing light and shadows in his paintings, and very often he would position his subjects when he was painting them under a light, so under a ceiling, sort of skylight in the roof, and you'd have the light coming directly down. And what that tended to do was form a shadow on one side of the face, but also create a little highlight of triangle on that shadow side of the face, and probably easier to show you than swap around, hopefully not clatter into stuff as I do that. So I'm keeping the light at the same height, and all I'm doing is moving it further around. There we go, at another angle, and you'll see there we've now got the triangle of light appearing on Charlie's cheek here, and the nose shadow that we had previously has now crept into the shadow which has now appeared on the side of the face to help form that triangle. It's a very dramatic style of lighting. It's probably not used that much in sort of glamour and sort of high fashion type portraiture because it's quite moody. But if you want to create emotion and get across those kind of feelings through your photography, cinematography, then it's a good lighting pattern for that. Now I've just moved the light round to do the Rembrandt, and I'm just going to move it around even further, and we're going to do the last one, the fifth that we're going to show you, which is the split lighting. I'm going to see how I get on here because I'm looking at the floor and I'm seeing all my tripods going to get a little bit
Twisted up?
Twisted up, yes. So we'll see how we get on this. See if I can do it without banging the camera. So with split lighting, I'm moving the light round further and further to sort of 90 degrees. So it's kept at the same height. and I've moved it all the way around. So I'm lighting Charlie from the side. It's set quite high up still, so say the same height as the last two that we've done. And as you can see there, it creates a line down the middle of the face. So we've got lit on one side and then shadow on the other side. Similar to the Rembrandt, it's not a sort of lighting pattern you're going to use all the time. So I'm having to move my head here. I've got the light just about there. I don't want to bang my head on it. Again, very, very moody style lighting. It's great for bringing out texture and form and shape. So if you're doing people like athletes or weightlifters, that kind of thing, where you want to bring out muscle tone and shape and texture and form across the body, it's a great lighting pattern for that. Probably not so much from a glamour perspective. Again, as I said earlier, you can soften the shadow areas by bringing in a reflector or a bounce on the opposite side to the shadows to soften those out if you want to, as you can do with all of the other patterns. So there you go. That's your 5 patterns that we've worked through. I'm going to run a little video just at the end here just to show you the transition between the 5 patterns, just as a recap. I hope you found that useful. Comment below on the type of lighting patterns that you use. So what are your go-to lighting patterns, either for photography or cinema photography?
Big words.
It is, isn't it?
I'm not going to try and pronounce it.
So I'll be interested to hear and know what you use, what's your go-to setup. If you liked what you've seen and heard, then please consider subscribing if you're not already a member. And click on the little subscribe button that's going to pop up down below in the bottom corner. And then also click on the notification icon, which will then notify you when I upload new videos. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully see you on the next one. Cheers for now.
Thank you so much. Love.